So I was asked, as I have been so many times, what's your favorite bait? What's the number one bait that you can throw? You know, what have you caught the most number of fish on? Those kind of questions. And a lot of anglers really gravitate to one specific bait because it works for them. And having fished competitively my whole life, one of the things that I've spent a tremendous amount of time doing was learning to become more versatile. Maybe not learning to become the very best crankbait fisherman, the very best jerkbait fisherman, the very best pitcher and flipper, but to be able to travel the nation like we do today. We're on a body of water today that I've never seen. It's the first time we just put the boat in the water, and I'm looking out here, and it's springtime, it's post-spawn, but I have no idea what this lake's gonna be like. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check and try to figure out what the fish are doing, obviously, and then I try to find baits that fit that category. So I'm going to something that I can work the bottom with, and a crankbait deflects off of rocks really nicely. You want to try to determine what the forage is for that time of the year. It'll help you make good bait selections. You know, if you're throwing a shad-colored crankbait and it's a primary crawfish forage, you're not going to get very many bites. It's just not the deal. So, and vice versa. There's times that they really get keyed on shad, and after the spawn, when the shad spawn, oh, there's one. Oh, these spotted bass are so strong. He's not a giant, but they are so strong. This lateral line, these colors in here are very different between that and a largemouth. And they have this little tooth patch on their tongue right here. Well, we came a little bit up this lake, and there's a highway that crosses right here. Bridges are always good areas to fish. It also normally on a reservoir makes a funnel coming out of a big creek, because you'll have a causeway coming in two directions and the bridge will be small. So it forces everything that passes through to come to that small area, sort of gathers up the fish. There's one. Off the end of that riprap right there on a drop shot. Oh yeah, nice spotted bass. Boy, what a pretty fish. But what we got here is kind of a steep dropping bank, and this water up the upper end of this lake has kind of a plankton bloom in it, so it's got a lot of stain and color, and that promotes fish to stay shallow. Well, no matter what my favorite bait is, you got water willow growing on the bank, so you have to have a bait that you can throw into the weeds that's weedless and still has manages to have visibility in color. Spinnerbait's the number one choice. So we'll see if we can get a few bites checking it out. Oh, there's one. That didn't take long. Oh, good one on the spinnerbait. Spinnerbait was a good call. This is why you don't want to get hung on your baits, folks. You have to always live in the moment. Man, it's so hard to do, especially if you started the day and you whacked them on a buzz bait. First hour and a half, 2 hours, you crushed them. Well, that bite very likely will go away. And guys, stick with it, man, because it was so good. It's so hard to give up. And fishing from day to day, you know, we have to learn this on tour because we fish, you know, 7, 8 days in a row. And there's no chance it's going to be the same day after day. Oh, there's a fish on the crankbait while I'm talking. I knew there was a few that wasn't just in the grass line. You know, it's funny, we talk about, on tour, we talk about junk fishing. You've read that term, you've heard a bunch of pros talk about not being on them. They never really got on a pattern, but they junk fished. A pretty good swindle likes to use that term all the time. And what that really means is fishing like we're fishing today. I don't really have a primary pattern, so I'm using all these bait techniques. So it's not a pattern, it's just different ways, but being able to use all of your techniques, having them all at your disposal, allows you to be able to junk fish. You just don't fall in love with the technique, man. Let them all work for you.